Hello folks, let's go ahead and take a look at creating an SAP Business Objects instance in the Cloud Appliance library. It's much faster than having to download the software and installing on your server on premise. You would do getting started and register, get started and register. I believe you will need a corporate account or any work email address should work, I believe. It's free to sign up, not to create an appliance, but free to sign up. I'm going to log in here because I've already registered. Here are the various solutions available. Uh, Actually 57 solutions. Of that I just filtered. I just wrote objects here, and I can see that there are two options available: 4.2 SP2 and 4.2 SP3. Till a day back or so they had 4.2 SP1 also. I do not see that anymore. SP3 just got introduced yesterday or today morning. Before you go in here, you would actually need to create an account. I've actually already created two, one for each of the cloud providers that they support, Microsoft and Amazon. Let me go ahead and create one more for you actually. I'm gonna call it this time. What are the previous two names that I have? Let's call it AWS BOBJ. So AWS BOBJ. Service provider Amazon Web Services. Now to get this access key and secret key, here's what you need to do. Go to aws.amazon.com. Again, it's free to sign up. Again, not free to create resources, but free to sign up. They have a free tier, but pretty minimal, so I'd be careful if you are using AWS. So go to aws.amazon.com, create your account. You'll have to provide your credit card information, but during the free tier usage, which I believe is 1 month, they will not charge you unless you upgrade the account. So nothing to lose there. Go to IAM, you see it up here, or you just type in IAM, access management basically, and go ahead, and the first step would be to create a group. So I'm going to go to group and say create new group. Just call it BOBJ group. Next step, as per the documentation, the policies that are required are EC2 full access and VPC full access. Let's see, EC2 full access and VPC full access. Let's try that and see if it works. I'm going to say create group. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a new user here. I'm going to say add user, Naresh, BOBJ user. Just going to give it the first one here. And I am going to assign this group to it and say review and create user. You see here it says this is the last time these credentials will be available for download. So I am going to download them and overwrite the previous file that I had. Probably don't want to share it with anyone. I'm going to delete mine, so it doesn't matter that it's showing up here. I'm just going to open this guy up in a notepad or something. I just find it easier to copy paste from there. Anyways, what I need to do next is go back to the appliance library and provide the access key, which is the first one here, and this other guy that you see here didn't copy the whole thing because of the slash there, so be careful with that. Let's do the test connection. You see how it says it doesn't have enough permissions. I'll have to figure out what's missing, but for now what I'm gonna go do is just give it full access. So I go back to resource group, IAM groups, BOBJ group, attach policy, and I'm gonna give it administrator access. The other two are really not relevant because I gave it full administrator access. I don't mind it right now, it's a free account. And let's go back to cal.sap.com, test the connection, and the connection with the cloud provider is valid. Step 2, it's add this user, which is the user with which I signed up for cal.sap.com. Review, and I am gonna say create. Let's see if that works. Yes, it did create. So what I'm going to use right now is AWS BOBJ. Now I'm going to go to instances. I actually terminated the previous instance. Let's try and create a new one. For that you need to go to solutions. I put a filter on objects. I'm going to say create instance. I'm going to do the SP2. I'm going to create the new account that I created. Uh, Name, I'm just going to call it my BOBJ instance. Don't have any regions, just actually I'm going to select West. Give it whatever password you want. You'll have to remember this password later. Actually, let me go to the advanced mode so you can see a little bit more. You could do it with basic mode, but I'm going to go to the advanced mode and show you kind of get to see some stuff here. My BOBJ instance, West2, default step 3. You will see that there is no option to select the operating system, so it goes to a Linux box, and the minimum is 2 cores, or the R3 large is the minimum, and that is not free with AWS, even with the free tier. So be careful if you're using this. It has these two ports included, port ranges included. This is for an SSH connection directly to the server, and this is for accessing Tomcat or the Business Objects application through the browser. Just leave it all as default. Go to step 4, password. I provided that. Suspend at an suspend on an exact date. Yeah, this will go down. It's again free AWS account, but hey, no, actually be careful. It's not free, because if you're doing R3 large 2 cores 15 GB, that is not free. And here at least I did not see an option to reduce that. Maybe we can reduce that in AWS, but anyways, go ahead and do a create. After this is done, it takes approximately almost 30 minutes, I believe, for it to get activated. I'm going to download this private key, save it locally, or store it in the Cloud Appliance library. If you do not do this, you will lose the data. Please note this file is not encrypted, so we recommend that you store it in an encrypted secure storage. Anyways, I'm going to download it now and go to my folder, copy this guy to AWS new. Go back here, talks of free trial restrictions, and I'm gonna give it some time, pause the recording, and come back in a bit. So yes, looks like our instance is now active, so we can just go ahead and connect to it. And when you connect to it, it'll come up with a getting started guide, but I'm just gonna say open. And as per the getting started guide, if you search for administrator, which is actually the default username, which is the BOP administrator, this gives you the password, default password. You can change it if you like, but I am gonna log in there. And there you go, voila. Your PI instance is ready in a few minutes. Unfortunately though, if you're just trying to play around with eFashion, it will not work, because this is a Linux based OS. I mean, this instance is installed on Linux, and I was just changing the web intelligence to HTML, to use HTML. But yeah, this is a Linux-based OS, as you know, and that means MS Access is not going to work on it. The ODBC driver for MS Access is not really meant to work on Linux. Or actually, there is no driver, as far as I know, for MS Access to work on Linux. So if you had to select any one of the universes and try to run it, you will see that it does not work. But I'm hoping, that in the next few days I'll create one quick other video which will show you how you could create a database in maybe Microsoft Azure, actually a SQL Server database, because that is free, and we can connect to a quick database. Maybe there is a sample database there. I don't remember the name, but yeah, I'll show you how to do that. But a word of caution: be careful. This is AWS. When you create your business objects instance, by the way, let me just quickly show you. I'll just take the sales revenue, and when you try to run it, obviously it's not going to run because it's MS Access. I mean, Linux on MS Access. And what was I saying before this? Yes, be careful when you create this instance on AWS. AWS is a free tier for 1 year, but when you create the business objects instance, as you know, it creates R2 large, and that would mean that it's not the free tier instance. So be careful. It's gonna charge you some amount based on your usage. There might be actually a way here to say instances. Well, I thought I had created an instance. That's how my business object started. It says 3 security groups, and there might be a way actually here for me to go and change the configuration of the instance. But again, the free tier is like what, half a GB or something like that. That's not going to run. For that reason, I actually prefer Microsoft, but the Microsoft Azure, assuming that I'm pronouncing it right, cloud service provider, because they give you 1 month full on free with a $200 credit. But there are other issues there, which I'll hopefully talk of in my next video, and also maybe try to figure out how to fix the issues on Azure. Thank you very much, folks. Again, I know this is not full on all done. You cannot try out eFashion until they support Windows on SAP Cloud Appliance, but otherwise, at least you see that it's very easy to install. Have fun. Thank you. Hey, folks, I'd actually stopped recording the video, started it once again to show you one quick thing. How to suspend your instance. Once you go to instances, you'll see that it's active. You could go ahead and do suspend. Be careful, if you do terminate, it's lost forever. I mean, you could easily create another one. And here is actually the cost. This is what it costs every hour to leave it on. 28 cents an hour, and if you leave it suspended, 650 a month. So if you're okay with that, you can play around with it at that cost. And every time you suspend and start it again, I think once it's suspended, you'll have an option to say activate, and when you activate, there is an option there that says suspend the instance automatically in set number of hours, and you can change that to whatever you like. If you don't use it, it gets suspended automatically. I'm gonna suspend this for now, and we'll come back and later show you how to connect to what's that, SQL Server database on Microsoft Azure. And hey, just a sec, let me ask you for a favor, please. If this video has helped you, can you please give it a thumbs up? Show me some love. Thank you.